Hey everyone, today's video is about when you slam the door in his face. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get going. You stood there, your heart pounding in your chest, as you watched the front door of your apartment slam shut with a resounding thud. Anger coursed through your veins, causing your hands to tremble slightly. Slamming the door in Bakugou's face wasn't something you had ever done before, but tonight had been the last straw. Your relationship with Bakugou was intense to say the least. As two strong-willed individuals, clashes were inevitable, but the love and passion that burned between you was undeniable. However, lately, things have been getting out of hand. Baku's explosive temper had gotten to wear on your patience, and you had finally reached your breaking point. As you pace back and forth in your living room, replaying the argument you're in your head, a small voice of doubt whispered in the back of your mind. The argument had started over something trivial, an unwashed dish and left in the sink. It had been a long day for the both of you, and the tensions were running high as you stood in the kitchen. Frustration seeped into your voice. Can you please just clean up after yourself for once? I'm tired of always having to do things everywhere around here. You snapped. Bakugou, who had been longing on the couch, shot up at your words. His temper flared instantly, his eyes narrowing with anger. What the hell are you talking about? I do have plenty here. The argument escalated from there, each of you throwing accusations at one another. Words flew like arrows, sharp and hurtful. It seemed as though you were locked in a battle of wills, neither willing to back down. You never listened to me, Bakugou. It's always your way or the highway. You exclaimed, your voice laced with frustration. Maybe if we weren't so damn stubborn, we wouldn't always end up in these stupid fights. Bakugou shot back, his voice booming through the apartment. The tension between you was palpable, and it felt, though, the very air in the room was charged with electricity. The argument reached its peak when you couldn't hold back your anger anymore. I can't do this anymore. I need a break from all of this. You shouted, tears welling up in your eyes. With those words, you turned and stormed towards the front door, desperate to escape the heated atmosphere. Bakugou, fueled by his own anger, followed closely behind you. No, you can't just run away whenever things get tough. He yelled, his voice tinged with frustration and hurt. But before Bakugou could reach you, you had already swung the door open and slammed it shut, cutting him off mid-sentence. The sound echoed through the apartment, leaving a deafening silence in its wake. Maybe you had overreacted. Perhaps you should have listened to Bakugou's side of the story. But the door had already been shut, and there was no turning back now. Hours passed, and the guilt weighing on you was still heavily on your chest. You missed Bakugou, despite the anger that had driven you to push him away. It was time to face the consequences of your actions. Taking a deep breath, you approached the front door and opened it slowly, praying that Bakugou hadn't stormed off for good. To your surprise, there he stood, leaning against the wall opposite to your apartment room. His arms were crossed, and his expression was a mix of frustration and concern. The sight of him ignited a whirlwind of emotions within you. You couldn't deny the relief that washed over you, but you also felt a twinge of uncertainty. Bakugou, you whispered, your voice filled with regret. I'm sorry. He glanced up, his crimson eyes locking with you. There was a moment of silence before he pushed himself off the wall and walked towards you. his steps deliberate and controlled. Damn right. You should be sorry. You think you can just slam the door in my face and then apologize? It doesn't work like that. He growled, his voice low and tinged with irritation. You nodded, tears threatening to spill from your eyes. I know, Bakugo. I messed up big time and I regret it. But I was so angry, and I didn't know what else to do. Bakugo's expression softened slightly, and he reached out to gently wipe away a tear that escaped from your eye. I'm not excusing what you did, but then I understand. We both say and do things that we're angry, that we regret later. But that doesn't mean we can just run away from each other every time. His words resonated with you, and you felt a glimmer of hope that things could be salvaged between you. You're right, Bakugo. I really just don't want to run away anymore. I want to work through our problems together. Bakugo's grip on your hand tightened, and he pulled you into his arms, holding you close. Good, he murmured, his voice filled with a mixture of relief and affection. Because I'm not giving up on us either. We're in this team together, no matter how tough it gets. As you leaned into his embrace, you knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy. There would be arguments, disagreements, and more than a few explosive moments. But you were both fighters, and the love you shared was worth fighting for. From that day forward, you and Bakugo made a conscious effort to communicate better, to listen to each other's perspectives, and to find compromise. The fiery passion that had initially drawn you closer to each other didn't wane. Instead, it was tempered with understanding and a deeper appreciation for one another. Over time, your relationship grew even stronger, and the bond between you deepened. You tackled life's challenges side by side, supporting each other through triumphs and setbacks. Baku's explosive nature became less violent, and your patience and understanding grew as well. Together, you built a future that was filled with love, trust, and the occasional fiery argument that had always ended with a passionate reconciliation. You learned to embrace each other's flaws and strength, cherishing the unique dynamic that existed between you. And so, as the years passed, you and Bakugo remained steadfast in your love for one another. Through ups and downs, you faced life head on, knowing that no matter what, you would always find your way back to each other. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Goodbye!